Why do you think women love nonchalant men? Seriously, he doesn't call, he doesn't chase, he doesn't even try to impress her. And yet, she starts craving him, not because he's rich, not because he's smooth, but because there's something about that silence, that distance. It hooks her mind and exposes her need for approval. In this video, I'm going to show you something most men never figure out. The nonchalant effect, how calm disinterest triggers female obsession, not through manipulation, not through tactics, but through a level of masculine presence that most guys never access. Stay with me, because once you understand what this does to a woman's psychology, you will start watching her chase you. 1. She can't feel you, so she feels everything. Most men reflect her chaos. She gets distant, they chase. She cries, they panic. She storms, they stumble. But you don't flinch. When her mood swings hit, you don't respond. You anchor. She throws fire. You let it burn out. She goes silent. You lean back, untouched. And something strange happens. She calms down. Not because you fixed her mood, but because you didn't lose your own. That kind of emotional gravity, it's rare. It tells her, even at her worst, you're still in control. You're not scared of her emotions. You're not avoiding the heat. You walk into the fire and sit down. That's when she softens. That's when she starts trusting you with the parts of herself she's never shown anyone. Because for the first time, her chaos doesn't scare a man away. And that safety feels like home, not to the girl in her, but to the woman waiting underneath. 2. She can't read you, so she can't escape you. Women are masters of prediction. They know when a guy will double text. They know how he'll react if they pull away. They've seen the story so many times. They could write the script themselves. But then, you show up, and suddenly nothing makes sense. You're warm, but not clingy. You're present, but not predictable. You don't chase, you don't beg. You don't give her enough data to figure you out. And that mystery? It pulls her in deeper than any compliment ever could. Now she's texting her friends trying to decode you, replaying conversations in her head, wondering if that silence was distance or depth. And here's the secret most men will never understand. It's not attention that haunts her. It's uncertainty. When she can't read you, she keeps reading. When she can't predict you, she keeps imagining. And those thoughts, they loop at 2 a.m. You become a question she can't stop answering. Not because you were loud, but because your silence made her feel something no man ever has. Obsession. 3. You never had to leave, but she feels left. Most men leave loudly. They block, they rage, they post cryptic stories. But you exit in silence. No warnings, no closure, just distance, wrapped in calm. And it messes with her, because now every time she checks her feed and doesn't see you, it feels like a breakup she was never prepared for. You didn't ghost, you just stopped reaching. And that nonchalance, it echoes louder than any goodbye. She scrolls through old texts, replays old voice notes, tries to remember when she lost you, but you never said a word. That's the genius of your absence. It isn't cold, it's sovereign. You're not punishing her, you're just done explaining yourself. And now, she's haunted by the space you used to fill, not because you slammed the door, but because you walked out so silently. She's still not sure if you were ever really there. That's the power of nonchalance. You don't beg, you don't block, you just disappear and leave a storm in the shape of your absence. 4. You're the one man who doesn't worship her softness. She's used to being praised for things she never earned. Men fawn over her smile. They lose focus when she flirts. They treat her softness like a throne, just for showing up. But you, you see it differently. You don't chase her cuteness. You evaluate her character. You don't melt when she's emotional. You watch to see how she handles pressure. And that flips everything. Because now, for the first time, she's not being rewarded for being pretty. She's being measured for being powerful. You don't punish her. You just hold a quiet standard. And she feels it. She dresses differently when she sees you. She speaks slower, softer. She starts seeking your approval not to be not for validation, but for elevation. You're not a simp. You're not cold. You're simply the man who doesn't hand out intimacy like candy. And when a woman realizes she has to earn your warmth, her ego panics, her heart races, and suddenly you become the one prize she can't afford to lose. 5. You haunt her because you were never hers. She thought she had you, the way you smiled, the way you listened without trying to impress, the way you made her feel seen without ever saying she was yours. But here's what she never realized. You were never trying to be hers. You weren't chasing love. You weren't building a future around her. You were simply living, fully, freely, without need. And that shattered her illusion, because every man before you either begged, chased, or tried to prove his worth. But you stayed centered. No grand gestures, no dramatic exits, just calm, confidence, sovereignty. She replayed every moment thinking you were getting attached, only to realize she was the one falling. Now she sees you everywhere, in her dreams, in her feed, in the spaces where your silence echoes. You didn't ghost her. You just moved through her world like a man passing through a dream, and left her wondering if she imagined it all. That's the real power of being nonchalant. You never held her tight, yet now she can't let you go. Now you understand what women will never say out loud. It's not the words you use. It's not how much you text. It's not how hard you try. It's who you are when you don't need to prove a thing. That's the real nonchalant effect. A man who owns himself without trying to own her. And once she meets that man, her world shifts, not because he chased her, but because he moved through her life like a calm, unshakable storm. That's who you are now. That's who she can't forget. If you feel this in your bones, drop in the comments and say it with me. I don't chase. I echo, smash that like. Subscribe if you're done with games, and keep becoming the kind of man who doesn't flinch, but still wins. More fire coming. Stay calm. Stay powerful. You already know who you are.